fuck is that? Fucking hell, we don't know where we are!
Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is my review of The Ritual. Now this film just dropped on Netflix today, so I decided, hey, it's a horror film that looks half decent from the trailer, and so let's talk about this thing and see if it's a good horror film, which is now on Netflix. Now, the general premise of this film is that we have these four friends that are college buddies. They decide to meet up and go hiking in the mountains in Norway, or around Sweden, Norway, that area, on the King's Trail, I think it's called. And they do this in honor of one of their friends, which tragically dies towards the very beginning of the film. And they honor him, and so when one of their friends twists his ankle by accident, they decide, oh hey, let's just cut through this forest right here and make it back in half the time. And obviously really creepy stuff starts to happen, and we have our movie. The cast for this film actually works pretty well for the most part. The chemistry worked pretty well for the most part, and I saw that there was some level of companionship amongst them, along with a lot of tension due to that friend who ended up dying. One thing which I think a lot of people are going to feel, at least from the first maybe half of this film, is that it feels a lot like Blair Witch, in my opinion. It's not a found footage-esque film whatsoever. It's not anything of that sort. It's a regularly filmed film, but it has a lot of the same tones that went into Blair Witch, and so it feels very, very similar to that, at least in the beginning 2/3 of the film. Because very early on in the movie, when they are in the woods and they have to camp for the night, a storm starts happening and they find this cabin in the middle of the woods. They decide to just stay there for the night. They find really creepy things within it. As they're sleeping and as they wake up, they are basically just being put through these random nightmares, and one of the guys has this mark on his chest with 5 punctures, and you just don't know what happened, and it just leaves this very eerie, creepy feeling that Blair Witch really did give off, and it really just kind of builds on that throughout the course of the film as people end up starting to get killed, and things just continue to get really, really weird. You find symbols on the trees, and just bodies in the woods, and it's just really, really creepy. And so this really does build on the suspense of those events and really just allows it to be this really creepy movie for the most part for this first 2/3. And then after the 2/3, towards the ending where we see kind of the conclusion, we see kind of an explanation for what's been going on. It's not the most satisfying thing, and it seems a little bit just out of left field for the most part. I would prefer it if they had done something kind of open-ended for the most part. Like, I won't go into spoilers for this because I don't want to say what I wish would have happened, because you know that didn't happen. So this, yeah. But the conclusion that we got, I understand what it was doing, I think, in regards to a certain character that they kind of do a lot with for the most part for this film, in regards to visions and things of that sort. I think I get what they're trying to do, but it just didn't really work that well, and it just seemed kind of out of left field, where it's this big spooky horror film which could have done a really cool thing, and that just kind of becomes kind of this horror survival action film kind of at the last second, and it just seemed really, really strange. And it also has a lot of predictable beats to it as well. You can kind of guess, oh hey, when you're camping in the woods after this really creepy thing start happening, things are going to keep going worse, and things are going to continue to not go well for you folks, probably. And so it's a lot of stuff of that sort. This film's not necessarily gory, though. You do see kind of bodies in the background that have been killed and mangled and whatnot, but you don't really see a close-up or anything like that. So if you're squeamish in the gore blood category, you're probably going to be okay. It's not really that terrible. You guys, overall, I thought that The Ritual was just okay. It wasn't the best horror film in the world. I still prefer the 2 Blair Witch movies over this one. I thought that those both worked really, really well. And then this one, I thought was just, again, okay. It works for what it needs to do. It has generally interesting conclusion, but just didn't really work for me personally. It wasn't that satisfying for me as a viewer. But those are just my thoughts on The Ritual. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, share, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose it. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.